Hi everyone, welcome back to the Collaborating Docs YouTube channel. I'm Tavi, a nurse practitioner here on the team at Collaborating Docs. So today we're unpacking some updates from the federal government, both to the CDC's vaccine schedule and to the National Dietary Guidelines and Food Pyramid. So we'll be talking about what they mean for clinicians in real-world practice. Stay tuned if you want to hear more. So first, let's talk about vaccines. Just in the last few weeks, the CDC has released a revised childhood immunization schedule, reducing the number of vaccines it's universally recommending to all children. This new approach organizes vaccines into three categories. The first, recommended for all children. The second, recommended for certain high-risk groups. And the third, situations where providers and families should decide together. So that's what the CDC is calling shared clinical decision-making. This represents a big shift from the previous schedule, which recommended about 17 vaccinations for all children, to one that recommends fewer universally and places more emphasis on the individual decision-making guidelines. So it's important to note that vaccines aren't gone. They're still available and covered by insurance, but they're no longer on the blanket universal recommendation list. We'll talk more about implications on this in just a second. So the second thing we want to talk about is that almost at the same time, HHS and the USDA unveiled new federal dietary guidelines. So this includes updating the food pyramid for Americans. You've probably seen both of these in recent headlines. The new guidelines stress more protein in whole foods, fewer processed foods and added sugars, and an embrace of healthy fats and full-fat dairy versus the older low-fat approach. These updates are going to influence everything from federal nutrition programs to school lunch planning, and then, of course, they're going to spark plenty of conversation in the clinical nutrition circles. So let's talk about, again, what this means for us. Here's where it gets real. In both cases, the vaccines and the nutrition, there are going to be voices within medicine that disagree with the changes. For vaccines, of course, many major medical organizations like the American Academy of Pediatrics continue to endorse comprehensive childhood immunization schedules based on decades of evidence. So in nutrition, some experts are warning that the emphasis on the high-fat meats and the dairy raises questions about cardiovascular health impacts. If you're a clinician, you're thinking, wait, which guidance do I follow? Here are some friendly reminders. Federal guidance is informative and can impact public programs, but professional society recommendations, so like those from the AAP, the AMA, the ADA, and the A&D, reflect rigorous, specialty-specific evidence and practice standards. When there's tension or a lack of clarity, it's absolutely appropriate to lean on the guidance of your professional academy and specialty society. They know your patient population, the clinical evidence, and the standard of care better than any press release or rapid-fire updates. To sum up, the CDC vaccine schedules have shifted toward risk-based and shared decision-making categories. The federal food pyramid got a makeover, emphasizing protein and whole foods. And when new guidance from a large government agency doesn't line up with professional society recommendations, trust your training and your clinical judgment and lean into the guidance of your specialty organizations when needed. I hope you find this helpful. Thank you for joining today.